Interior, Red Lion Inn, the Berkshires, Massachusetts. Present day. A fell swoop of a napkin. Rachel's hands unfold a cloth table napkin. Rachel, 48, and her brother, Michael, 50, sit at a restaurant table. They catch up over dinner, drink wine. Rachel shows Michael recent pictures of Teresa, 25, her daughter, and Kevin, 27, her son-in-law. Michael studies Rachel's face.
So really, Rachel, how are you?
Tucson agrees with you. You look good, Michael. How's Gary? How are the two of you doing?
Michael leans back in his chair, giving her more time. He takes out his phone from his jacket pocket. He shows Rachel a picture of himself with Gary, 52, and Nikisha, 21.
Oh, we're good. Gary sends his love. He's on the Cape visiting with his niece, Nikisha. She just got into Yale Graduate School.
Oh, what a lovely picture. His niece resembles him. You two look happy. I'm so glad.
So how are things with you, Rachel?
Rachel sips her wine with a thoughtful pause.
Well, some days I feel sad, but mostly I feel strange, like a rubber band that has broken, like things are not held tightly in place, if that makes sense.
Michael nods.
Makes perfect sense, sis.
Rachel takes another sip of wine.
After baby Giovanni died, it took years for me to wrap myself around life again. Remember? If I hadn't had Teresa and you...
Rachel and Michael pause at the painful memory. Michael reaches out his hand and gives her hand a squeeze.
I expected to feel like that again now that Joseph's gone. But I don't. I guess I feel oddly... free?
But too guilty to let yourself feel okay with that?
You know me pretty well, my brother.
Michael smiles warmly.
Maybe it's time for you to taste a bit of freedom. Try something new, like that smashing new jacket and fabulous scarf. It reminds me of that Viridian green color Dad once painted the front door. You loved the color so much you wanted to change your name to Viridian, remember? But Mom started calling you Vivian instead.
Michael and Rachel both laugh.
Hey, sis, why don't you come out to Arizona? Stay with Gary and me. Sunsets are amazing. It's very healing.
Rachel shakes her head.
I can't imagine not being close to place flowers on Giovanni's grave. And now Joseph's?
You know Giovanni's spirit is with you.
I know, but it's all so new to me. You look back and it feels like someone else's life. I feel removed, relieved, and yet sad at the same time. I have to figure out who I am now. What the future holds, I guess.
Rachel finishes the wine in her glass.
Oh, listen to me. I sound crazy.
Not at all. It all makes sense.
Rachel laughs, unsure. Michael raises his glass to toast.
Chaim, to a new chapter of your life.
L'chaim, saluti.
Exterior, Rachel's cottage, Lenox, Massachusetts, evening, present day. Michael and Rachel drive to her summer cottage on the country road. Interior, Rachel's cottage, kitchen, same day, evening. Rachel goes into the kitchen and makes 2 cups of tea. Family room. Meanwhile, Michael has put his suitcase down and looks at Rachel's collection of small elephant figures on the mantel above the fireplace. Rachel brings 2 cups of tea. She acknowledges Michael.
You know I adore elephants. Joseph was always opposed to my donating to elephant charities. But they're such majestic, intelligent animals. I couldn't bear knowing I might have saved one from death, but didn't do anything.
Michael holds up a small copper elephant, tarnished a greenish color.
Where'd you get this one? It's Ganesh, India's elephant man god.
Rachel goes over to the mantel, reaches on top for a card.
Yes, Ganesh came with a little card.
Rachel hands the card to Michael. He reads it out loud.
In Hindu teachings, Ganesh is known as the god of wisdom, prosperity, spirituality, and compassion. He is revered as the destroyer of obstacles, bringing growth and protection. Om Gama Gama Pat I Namaha.
It means, I bow to Ganesh, who is capable of removing all obstacles. I pray for blessings and protection.
Sounds perfect for a time of healing.
Michael smiles, hands the card back to Rachel. He wanders onto the adjacent patio. Rachel follows. Lightning bugs flash outside the screened patio. They sit and finish their tea.
If it's sunny and warm tomorrow, too, how about we go down to the lake, like old times? I'll pack a picnic with my famous blueberry muffins.
Exterior, Lake Beach, near cottage, Lennox. Next day. Rachel shakes out a blanket to rest in a sunny spot on the beach. It's a warm, sunny day and the lake looks inviting. Michael sets the picnic basket down and takes in the scene. He peels off his shirt with the vigor of a 10-year-old.
Last one in, like old times.
Michael laughs and runs towards the water. He dives in and swims towards a raft. He calls back to Rachel.
Come on, sis. It's fabulous.
Rachel waves from the shore. She takes off her beach robe and adjusts the straps of her swimsuit. She clutches her stomach. Something doesn't feel right. Michael beckons her again, so Rachel shrugs off the physical annoyance and heads for the water, assuring herself it's okay.
Today's a beautiful day. No wallowing.
She wades in up to her knees, then dives in. The cold water consumes her senses. Coming up for air briefly, she waves to Michael, then dives down again into viridian green water. As the surface retreats, she's suddenly surrounded by a dark, luminescent seaweed forest. She's disoriented, afraid. She struggles back up for air, but the seaweed engulfs her. She kicks and thrashes to get away, but she can't. She panics. She's trapped. She fights until she has only a whisper of air left. Then she sees someone reaching out to her from the surface.
Help me!
It's an old man, Chaim, 65, at the surface above her. A long white beard swirls around him. Wrinkled hands paddle faster towards her. His face breaks the surface of the dark water. His beard and scraggly coat sleeves wave back and forth in the green seaweed, thrashing until he reaches her.
It's just a child! God in heaven!
One hand pulls Rachel's hair toward him. The other hand slips under her jaw, wrenching her upward. Rachel ascends towards the surface, semi-conscious. Large hands lift her up as if she were a small rag doll. Her head breaks the surface into the air. Someone thumps her back. Sunlight blazes in her eyes. Air rushes into her lungs. She gasps, sputters, and coughs.
Rachel. Easy. Take it easy. You're okay. Breathe. Stand up, Rachel. It's not deep.
Michael pats her on the back as he supports her. Rachel puts her feet into the lake's clay floor and stands. The water is only up to her chest. She gulps in air and holds on to Michael.
I'm okay. I'm okay now.
Rachel, breathing better, looks down at the clear blue water. There's no seaweed or plant growth to be seen.
What just happened?
I honestly don't know.
A vision of Chaim flashes through her mind. She sees his face. Interior, Chaim's study, old stone house, Italy, day, 1416. Chaim reads in a small attic study. Hebrew and Aramaic manuscripts sit on the desk along with a drawing of a tree of life from the Kabbalah. Long fingers of his weathered hands roam over the wrinkled pages of one of his books. As if by touch he can unlock their hidden mystery. Mouthing silent prayers while reading, Chaim rocks back and forth. He doesn't see Maria come up the ladder until he smells the bread she is carrying in a basket. He startles when he sees her young face staring at him.
You remembered butter, yes?
Maria, now renamed Davina, steps back a bit. Chaim adjusts his tone, pats the stool next to him.
Come, sit here, Davina.
Davina obediently sits and hands the basket to Chaim. He carefully clears a space on his desk, sets the basket down. He breaks up the bread, butters a piece, and offers it to Davina. Then he butters one for himself.
Tell me why I need the new name Davina, Papa.
Ah, yes. It is confusing. You are safe now. You have a new life in a new place with a new family. So a new name is a good idea. Do you like your new name, Davina?
Davina thinks for a minute, then nods, satisfied with her new name. She eats her bread and looks at Chaim's desk, noticing his books and papers.
Papa Chaim, can I ask you what you do with the pages? Are you making a recipe?
Davina finishes her last bite of bread.
Mama Bella says we are bakers. Are you making a bread recipe?
Chaim is surprised by her curiosity.
Ah, yes, it is kind of a recipe. I'm just trying to figure out some numbers.
Davina laughs for the first time. Chaim is delighted.
Ah, you're recovering. Laughter's a good sign.
Those are funny numbers, Papa. They look like letters, not numbers.
Chaim suddenly looks serious. Davina continues, not noticing his demeanor.
You need to measure for recipes. My mother,
Davina's eyes fill with tears. She lowers her head.
I thought bread had measures.
All as it should be, Davina. It will take some time to heal, little one. It's good you are remembering.
Chaim looks at his shelf where a boy's handmade toy sits.
It takes time to heal. Your mother loved you and only wanted to protect you.
Davina keeps her eyes lowered and nods. Chaim puts a soothing hand on Davina's shoulder.
Knowing how to hold inside what must be held inside for your own safety and ours is very brave. And yes, Davina, bread does have measures. You will be a fine baker like your new mama, Bella.
He hands the bread basket back to Davina and draws his books toward him, trying to cover the pages from the prying eyes of this precocious child. He isn't quick enough. A rogue wind suddenly races through the window and blows his papers askew, off his desk, onto the floor. A few fly into Davina's lap. Before Chaim can gather them back, Davina picks one up and holds it to the light. The dark letters are large and bold. The black ink twirls into intricate designs. Davina is breathless. She sees each letter on the page vibrate and glow like lightning bugs. She touches them, runs her fingers over them, strokes them. To Davina's amazement, the letters dance on the page. They change from black to red to gold, then to violet, green, and blue. They merge and flip in all directions, changing into numbers and back to letters. Davina giggles with delight.
Oh, Papa, I see. It's a game. You're playing a game with letters and numbers for your recipe to see how it will come out.
Chaim can't speak. He holds his breath. Cut to a vision. For one split second, visions of past and future events reveal themselves. He sees a great tree of life unfolding in the cosmos, then flashes of scenes. A green female figure in a forest, an artist painting a picture of a woman sitting with her servant, church authorities coming to arrest him. Cut 2. Interior, Chaim's study, Italy, same day, 1416. Air pours back into Chaim's lungs in a gasping breath. He exhales, makes a great effort to quiet his breathing and heart rate. Chaim looks at his new daughter, incredulous.
How can this be? 40 years of study of Sefer Yetzirah to uncover a great mystery that this child had recognized without effort, in just moments.
Before he has time to ponder the child's gifts further, Davina looks at the page of letters she's rearranged. Then she stares into Chaim's eyes. She begins to chant, her child's voice deepening into a melodic low tone.
Chants in Rigveda, Sanskrit, and Hebrew.
Chaim can't move. Under Davina's gaze, her chanting creates a buzzing in his ears. Then he feels dizzy. The air spins in colors. Before he realizes what's happening, he's transported to another place. Cut 2. Exterior, Arizona desert, late summer, present day. It's a foreign, blazing hot, barren landscape where a 360-degree pan shows sand and sky that seem to go on forever, except for a small building in the far distance. It's blazing hot. Davina's chanting can be heard, while letters and symbols appear in the air. Chaim, seen only from the back, has the same white hair, but different clothes. He stands motionless. He seems to be looking at the landscape, although his face is not seen. He begins to make gestures, as if feeling unfamiliar clothes. He holds out his arms. He has black hands, black skin. Then he turns around. He is a black man with white dreadlocks who looks identical to white Chaim. His eyes, face, show surprise at first, as if he is disoriented. Suddenly everything goes silent. The black man, transformed Chaim, is now perfectly calm, perfectly transformed. A distinct green glow permeates his movements. He looks again at the landscape of sand and tumbleweeds out beyond his immediate stance, to the building, a gas station, far in the distance. He sees a lone figure of a woman with a dog walking about in the desert, looking for something. He can feel her panic. He can read her thoughts, hear her words.
Where is the damn key? Oh God, I have to find it.
Suddenly, Black Chaim feels a cold metal object in the palm of his hand. He looks down to see a key in his hand. Exterior, Arizona desert, gas station, same day. Seconds later, he stands in front of the woman, Rita, 50, whose face is not visible. He gives her a metal key. He smiles. His eyes glow. The next instant, a sudden gust of wind blows him toward a large truck parked by one of the gas pumps. He disintegrates as he drifts behind the truck. Cut 2. Interior, Chaim's study, Italy, same day, 1416. In seconds, Chaim is back in his study next to a beaming Davina.
I like this game, Papa.
Davina puts the paper with the large letters back on the desk. She picks up the other pages from the floor. Davina hands a still stunned Chaim the pages.
Here, Papa. Can I come do more letter and number games tomorrow, Papa?
Chaim tries to put the pages in order on the desk. His hands tremble. He looks at Davina. Her face glows. Interior, Rita and Cleo's apartment, Northampton, Massachusetts, present day. Rita's painted portrait of the young girl, Davina, glows as it leans against the other paintings in the studio awaiting packing along with all of the luggage and boxes, ready to be piled into a U-Haul. Cleo finds Rita in the kitchen, preparing sandwiches.
Almost ready? It should take us about 3 hours to get to Vermont for the car. I hope we're making the right decision driving a stranger's car with a U-Haul all the way to California.
It's cost effective. We have the woman's word it's in good condition. If it looks bad, we can take the rental car instead. Maybe it'll be a romantic little trip to Vermont anyway.
Rita winks, gives Cleo a hug. With sandwiches and dog, Oliver, they leave.